All right, live over here on YouTube. And hey, live on Instagram. This is so dumb.
Well,
But I still love the fact we do it. Oh, happy Thirsty Thursday, everybody. Yeah, just going with the old red solo cup tonight. We got a little rushed here at the end of the evening, so didn't have a chance to grab a different cup.
back mug.
So let's see here. I don't know if anybody's ever on YouTube. Got some people joining us here on Instagram. Damn, Rob, I bet you it feels like that's a full-time job for you. So I hope everybody's doing well. I'd say it's definitely been a week. A week of what? I don't know.
Unending bull.
There's always something. So so comically, let's start with the fun stuff, a little story, but it is work related. So I decided to get in touch with Shopify today because our newsletter has been absolutely screwing the pooch lately. So today,
Delivery of,
yes, the delivery of the newsletter has been horrible.
that you're writing a shitty newsletter.
So, well, both are probable, but definitely possible.
Shit.
So anyway, I decided to get in touch with Shopify, and to do so, you have to use an instant chat thing through their. Yeah, they if you call the number, you're never going to get anywhere. So chatting back and forth with this guy, I'm like, hey, I hit send on our newsletter today at 12:48. I was running a little behind. I was like, here we are, it's 3 o'clock, and it still hadn't sent. Now, this has happened multiple times. That's why we've been giving you guys doing a better job of giving you a heads up a day or two before a drop happens through the newsletter. Because if it's a big, important drop, people are going to be pissed when they're getting the newsletter 2, 3, 4 hours after it happens. So here we are, it's 3 o'clock. So it's been over 2 hours, and I decided to reach out to them and say, hey, this is a problem. We're not getting a resolution to the problem. What can we do? So leave it to me, the time that I finally complained. It's been a while since I've complained, because for a while it was working pretty well. The guy was like, yeah, this is scheduled to send tomorrow morning. Hey, that's brilliant. I am just so intelligent. So
You scheduled it to send to me.
I did.
So instead of PM, you hit AM or something?
It'll set you an automatic time that it likes to schedule it to send,
Right.
and normally I just hit now and it sends. So yeah, hat poons, man, hat poons are available. We'll talk about hat poons in a minute. So so anyway, so I was like, hey, go back and look at these others. This is not just this problem. And so I went and I was able to send him screenshots from the Facebook group going, hey, look, this is how long it's taken these people to get it. Here they are complaining about it, letting me know that these things are coming in sometimes 2, 3, 4 hours apart. And so anyway, I thought it was comical that we ended the message chat with him letting me know that this would be a longer resolution, and that they're going to work on it and let me know what they find out, and that they're going to let me know via email. I kind of sat there like, really? Email? Yeah. And I was like, I'm sure I'll never get it.
Well, first of all, I have all Shopify emails sent to spam. I don't check those.
But yeah, 5:16. So I officially hit send on that at 3, and it seemed to go out to everybody around 5 o'clock, 5 to 5:30. So we've still got a major problem with it. We're looking at other avenues, looking at other ways to do, and I think I found the solution that I want.
Well, that explains the cage of pigeons you got out back.
It will be more accurate, guarantee it. We can even send those through Alabama, and only a couple of them will get shot. So yes, we are working I'm not going to say frantically, but because at the end of the day, so far it hadn't been a huge ordeal. Um, but like tomorrow, we have a drop that I'd like the newsletter to hit. And here's the other messed up thing. So if you do this, tell me this isn't stupid. So I'm very pleased with Shopify. I really am. We were going to leave and go somewhere else, but we've gotten the credit card issues figured out. Shopify was wonderful through that. They've been really good to us with a lot of things, but the newsletters become a problem. But if you do, when you do the newsletter and you put in all the products so that people can click on them. Now, if I go ahead and put all the products in and they are currently hidden from the site, so they're not available on our site, then when I put them live and then send the newsletter pops in and all those links are there for people to click on. But when they click on them, it says it's just a show link and that for them to go, they have to go to our website to be able to check out. So the only way for me to be able to make the newsletter and make it accurate and right is for me to not have it, is for me to have the products live exactly where they're going to be on the site. So that's a big flaw with their email as well. So anyway, like I said, we're working on a solution. It's the little dumb things that are behind the scenes that sometimes I like to tell you guys about. Just the daily things that you struggle with sometimes that a lot of people don't realize are going to be issues. So smaller crowd tonight. Is tonight the last night of the Democratic convention?
I wouldn't know.
I think it is. I think it is. I can't believe this many people are watching it. I'm very saddened. So anyway, let's talk about knives. Let's get that part of this party started. So we had a main focus for the week. I think it's been very obvious what that is. And it was very exciting for us. So Tuesday, and part of me wishes I'd done it Monday for McNeese Monday, but I feel like Tuesday for Tie Tuesday, but then wasn't thinking because not all these are Tie. But Tuesday we dropped our biggest batch of McNeese knives to date. These were all McNeese Mac 2 3.5s. The chair but it is the strangest thing. But these are all McNeese Mac 2 3.5s. They're all drop point, they're all flat ground, and they're all Magna Cut blades. But we've had a ton of different handle materials on them. And this, like I said, this was absolutely gobsnobs above what we've had in the past.
How much is a gobsnob?
Gobsnobs are a lot. It's a lot.
An ass ton?
It's definitely more than an ass ton.
Metric?
But less than a fuck ton.
All right. Somewhere between ass ton and fuck ton is gobsnob.
So we dropped these Tuesday, and very excited to have them. Jesus, they are finger guillotines, man. I mean, look at the action on this. You got to get that when you release. You got to get that thumb out of the way. Just wicked, wicked smooth. So this is the jig tie. And show the back side of this. So, I mean, that wicked smoothness is one of the things that McNeese is known for. It's just a hell of a well-done knife. It really, really is. Everything about it, the action, the size. I think one of the things I didn't realize, so I finally put one in my pocket. This is mine. I also have the jig tie. But one of the things that I just really have appreciated more and more since I've been carrying this knife, and I just put it in my pocket last night, has been the handle, blade to handle ratio. It's just, you get a lot of blade for the size handle, but also the handle's a little thinner, really does, across the back, it's a little thinner, so it really does fit the pocket very, very nicely. Very slim, getting past it to other things in your pocket. But you get a lot of blade for that handle size, but you still get a really good handle. Gives a good grip. No problem getting all four fingers on there.
Do the thumb studs dig into your thumb?
They do if you are not used to opening it. Some definitely come out of the box pretty tight. So you will get, I can tell you I've been flipping a lot of these. A lot of customers ask us to check them out. And my thumb's a little tender, but we've also had Hinder non-flipper Bowies. So, yeah, it's a little tender, but no, if you are flipping this and trying to flip more out or more up, depending sometimes, Kevin used to struggle with this. Some people just struggle with certain thumb stud openers. I've had ones with these insanely smooth. So that was the jigged. I'm going to show off some of the ones that we haven't had before. The jigged was one that we probably have. This is the blue G10 inlay. I really struggled with going between the jigged and this one. Let me get that. I didn't realize the guys on YouTube were getting a bad glare there. So, and that jigged inlay is so good looking. It really is.
I don't think you can say that anymore.
Or not jigged, the G10 inlay. And you can. These are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm surprised. That one I am kind of surprised. We did get a bunch of them, but they're more than half gone. But I thought they'd be gone first day, right at the drop. Also, for the first time ever, we did get in some of the micarta. So we've got the OD micarta, and this is smooth on the backside. This actually lightens the knife up with this micarta on here and the G10 by about half an ounce. So I think it's about 3.7 ounces with the OD micarta, and it's about 4.2, 4.3 with the full tie. So definitely makes it lighter, but no effect on that action. Still very smooth.
Is it possible to swap out the inlays?
That I don't know. I would think at some point they may work for something like that because they've done hardware in the past. But yes, it is not glued in. They are screwed in. So you can see the screws there. So I'd say it is going to be possible in the future to be able to swap out for something else. So I just showed you the OD. Here's the natural. And once again, very, very light. I like these micarta ones. They're really good looking and still very, very tough. You don't lose anything by switching to the micarta except for weight. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Price difference between
But
full tie?
it's not as much as I thought it'd be. I want to say $35 or $50, depending. But really well done. A really cool look to them. So, and I think these will look cool. I'm working on some customized stuff that I've still got taken apart in there. McNeese did give us permission to have some fun with some of these. So I thought these might look really cool with like a battle bronze on the tie side going with that OD. I thought that could look really good. And I don't know about this hardware, but maybe bronzing out the hardware could look really good to go give it that full bronzed out look. But these have been fantastic. You know, we sold the bigger part of them on Tuesday for sure. And then sales have been trickling yesterday and today. So I'd say we've sold 50 to 60% of them so far, which is pretty good considering the size of this shipment. I knew we'd have these around for a while. Some I think will have longer than others because some SKUs we got a ton of.
Now you said you were going to do some anodization. You do some laser work too?
Maybe. Hadn't gotten to that point yet.
But you got the okay, the clear.
I haven't checked with them on the lasering, but I don't think they're going to mind. You know, when I talked to them about doing some anodizing on them, it was like, sounds great, go for it. So, but we might mess around with some. If you've got suggestions or something you're looking for, please let me know. I can definitely see us doing some Sasquatch stuff on a few of them. I won't do a ton of them, just because I've got a line of laser and anodizing work on my desk now. That's pretty insane. So that was the big that has definitely been the big focus of our week, and I really wanted to promote these hard. The McNeeses have just been fantastic to us over the years, and are just great people to work with. And then on top of that, their mantra is the same as ours. It's like, they did a great video. I tried to share it on our story. It shortened it, but go watch it. It's a video that they video around their shop showing off the different employees in different parts of the shop.
Yep.
And then at the end of it, he talks about, hey, we're paying all these people. We're also paying this guy to be outside mowing, and we're paying for gas in our trucks, and we're doing it all right here in the USA. Don't tell me that's not important. And I agree with him. I think it's absolutely important to grow industry here in the United States. And McNeese just beats that drum way harder than we even do. And we're called USA Made Blade. But I absolutely love what they're doing, and they're making a hell of a knife. And everybody who gets them seems to absolutely love them. I'm excited to have the 3.5. I've not been able to own one yet. You've got one, don't you? You don't have a 3.5?
I got a 3.
Oh, we're gonna have to fix that at some point.
I agree.
But
Yeah, that was a good video he put out. And,
Yeah.
And you're right, he does. He focuses on that and says it over and over and over because it's important.
he does. He really does. And it is important. So next up this week, speaking of another great American manufacturing company that hires a bunch of people, we got some Hinders. We did several different Hinder drops this week. So today you would have known in that email, but if you left the office at 5, you didn't freaking get it. We dropped some Harpoon Tantos. No, these are Harpoon Tanto XM18 3-inch models. They were all working finish. And awesome little knife. The little brother to the XM18 3.5. Really great action on these. This is just a really good everyday carry. Absolutely really good everyday carry. So the Harpoon, so all my social media posts start with Instagram. So I type in the description on Instagram, and I know to look for it, and I still miss it. But every time I type in Harpoon, their spell checker switches that damn shit to Harpoon.
It's not even a word.
Spell checker is a word, and Harpoon is not a word, but apparently they think I'm trying to say Harpoon. And when I notice it, it's usually about 5 hours later when somebody's like, Harpoon, ha 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 ha. I'm like, damn it. So you guys have all the permission to give me all the hell you want for Harpoon, but they are Harpoon Tantos. So please know that. Spread the word. We've got a handful of these. We had more, but now we have less. So there you go. I can barely speak English today.
That explains Harpoon.
I might start speaking my native Farsi here if I keep drinking. All right, and then
You're gonna have one guy on here that actually speaks Farsi and is gonna tell you you're fucking it up.
is gonna call me. Start speaking at me for it. All right, so
I have the message.
also this week we dropped some non-flipper Hinder XM18 3.5 Bowies. Also incredibly smooth. These are so well done. I think this is the last one I've got. These were all bronze anodized, stonewash blades.
Bronze anodized by Hinder.
Bronze anodized by Hinder, yes, with stonewash blades. So I do think this is the last one that we've got that is like this straight from factory. So anyway, definitely check that out. It's black G10 with bronze ano. I am shocked that the number of people that have been asking for a non-flipper and from Hinder on a 3.5, and then the number of people who love the Bowie. I am shocked that these aren't selling out in an hour or in 15 minutes. But it's still August. I keep forgetting that. I'm like, August is over. No, it's not.
Maybe that's part of it. Everybody sent the kids back to school and it broke.
Well, most people, besides North Carolina, a lot of states, they don't go back to school until
September.
Labor Day. So people are still getting those last minute vacations in that are unplanned vacations. Top that, people are saying the knife market's soft. Everywhere's kind of soft. It's August. It's every industry I talk to is like August sucks. August is horrible, or August is miserable. Except for the tourist industry, I think they're like August is great.
I know I paid into that.
So yeah, me too. But yeah, it's this August is always when people seem to be the most down on the knife industry for one reason or another. And I mean, I've seen that trend for years. I've never, and the only reason we've had just a blowout August is because we've just had amazing stuff coming from McNeese, and we had some really cool stuff from Neely Knife and Tool. We had some Koenigs, a great drop from Koenig, which there's more to speak about them. And Hinder's just been loading us up every week with some amazing things. So we've been very fortunate that for what's normally a slow month. So now I'm more worried about September and October. But
Speaking of him, which one was the Neves? Was that the butterfly knife?
yes,
Is that dead? Is it never coming back? Is it done?
no, nothing is dead in Hinder's eyes. Rick Hinder doesn't. I don't think he's ever discontinued a model ever.
It's just a matter of rotation.
He at one point in time, he did give me permission to say that we would never see the full track come back in titanium in its current setup. And then he's like, nope. A year later, he's like, yeah, I spoke too soon. I figured out a way to do it so that it wouldn't be hell to build these. That's the whole reason that the full track went away as long as it did. And by damn, he figured out a way to fix the problem. It's Hinder. He loves every model that he's ever designed. They never go away. And I knew somebody would bring up the MP1. I guarantee you at some point it will get reprived. I don't know when, but it definitely will. So next up, well, no, that was it for this past week. It's kind of just been a big focus on Hinder and McNeese for the most part, which was kind of what I expected. I think I said that's what we were going to have going on this past week. Expect me to keep hammering on McNeese. I hope you guys will keep supporting our post when we talk about them, and definitely tell others, because one of the big things that we're working on is expanding our reach, where we're getting our message out to. So the idea that we got such a big drop of McNeese this week, or such a big shipment, is a really good opportunity for us to use those along with some Hinders sitting there to really expand our reach and get out to some different markets. We've got some cool ways we're going to try and work on that. So I'm excited to see. It's kind of one of those things you throw it out there and see what sticks. But it's definitely time for us to really work on increasing our customer base. Oh, and improving our newsletter. So no, there's no mini Koenigs coming, but I did want to show off our exclusive real quick from Koenig. And the whole reason I have this sitting out here is because he had a few that he was still tweaking on that are being shipped to us. And then since he was going to ship us something, we do have a pretty decent drop. I mean, I think it's 25 or 30 knives. Full size Arius is coming. They're mostly plain Janes with either blue or bronze hardware. And then I think we have some Corda tie. So definitely for Koenig, the cheaper end of the models, I think the Corda tie is like 865, and then the plain Janes are maybe 765, maybe 735. I don't know, but they're in the 700s. So if you've been looking for a brand new Koenig that has not been owned by anybody else, we should have some of those happening, hopefully in the next week or two. It'll probably end up dropping in September, but I don't know for sure.
Any update on the Hinder aluminum autos?
I know I saw on social media today that Sam said they're going to have a big announcement about them coming up soon, but I don't know a time frame. So we've had some. We did get one shipment, or I think they were all the specialty ones, but But as soon as I know for sure, I'll definitely make sure to let you guys know. So, and then, so other things that are coming up. We don't have a ton on the docket for this next week. We've reached out and tried to get in touch with some people. Comically enough, some of the people that we usually talk to are on vacation. So anyway, so tomorrow, at least I think tomorrow or Saturday, we've got a batch of customized knives. So we've got some Henders. I'm going to work on some McNeese's.
Speaking of McNeese,
If I
we
can-
went through the whole thing about all the McNeese stuff,
Yeah.
and then they joined.
McNeese, we were talking about you for the first whole 20 minutes of the show. So, but thanks for joining us. We'll get back to the half track news there. GSNYD 24. So here's one. This is the Toxic Animascus that we did. This is with Orange G10. And this has completely bronze heat anodized hardware. This one turned out really good looking. And then, so we've got quite a few that we've done. Here's one. This is a Harpoon or Harpoon Tanto, depending upon which one you want to call it. This is a battle green and then bronzed out hardware.
That's good looking.
Yeah, turned out really good. Looks really good with that FDE. I think we did several of those, maybe a black and a black and a translucent green, something like that. And then I've got a few other non-flipper Bowies that I think I did a full bronzed out, a few different things. So if I can get my act together, those will drop tomorrow around the noon or 1 o'clock time. And if I can't, then they'll drop sometime on Saturday. But anyway, so that's pretty much it on what's coming up. It's a quiet time in the industry, in my opinion. I think we've been very, very, very fortunate to get the stuff that we've been getting. So, yeah, we've already covered that. McNeese, you still on here? I'll put him on the screen. Jonathan, if it's you, we've got a lot of people asking questions. I'll throw you up on the screen if you're up for it. Got a vomit emoji off of.
That's because the statement was made. He said he was late because he had to eat. Somebody said, that's bullshit. You're watching the DNC.
Let's see. Can I add him as moderator? Go live with McNeese. Why not?
He said go for it as far as the lasering goes.
I just hit a go live with McNeese. Let's see what happens. Oh, sorry, YouTube. Y'all are getting, hey, what's happening?
What's up, my freaks?
What are you eating? Some chicken wings? I feel like I need to take the YouTube people and put them facing.
Yeah.
Sorry, YouTube.
I'm full, fat, and happy.
Nice. That sounds good.
The
Yep.
rest of us are just fat.
So, well, tell us what else going on at McNeese Knives.
Oh man, as you can tell, we've been cranking. As you can see from the batch that we sent you, we kind of hit another gear here lately. So something I've been working towards all year, well, longer than all year, but really this year we're finally getting to the point that I was hoping we'd be at in about February or March. So we had a bunch of delays on that double disc and didn't get it in when we thought we were going to, and took way longer to get it up and running than I thought it was going to, and yada yada. But anyway, we've done some moving people around in positions and stuff, and kind of gotten where I feel like our core group is getting pretty solid now, and we're finally starting to make some strides on being able to get some decent volume out. So
All right. So we've had a number of questions. You mind if I fire some off to you?
I might not know the answers, but I'll give it a whirl.
Well, the first one is people have asked if you mind us lasering any of your knives.
Nope, I don't mind.
Fair enough. I figured as much. Second question: are you going to possibly be selling? So on the blue G10 inlay, Is
We're gonna
there?
sell them separate.
So you will be selling them separate. So maybe
Yes,
we
we
can.
are going to be selling. I've actually been meaning to get them listed on the site this whole week. I waited at first, partially just so we could get enough of them out there to make it worth it, but also I wanted to make sure that we had the fit dialed in good enough on the inlays that we were confident that we could just send out an inlay and it would pop in and fit the way it was supposed to. Some of the first, I don't know, 50 or so maybe that we did, we had to do a little bit of hand sanding and stuff to kind of get them to fit the way we wanted to, which I think it was more the inlay than the handle. So once they've been fit to the handle, they should be good. But
Nice.
anyway, we've got it dialed in now a lot better. They're pretty much popping right in the way we want them to. So we're going to very soon, maybe next week or so, we'll start listing some of those separate.
Nice. That's awesome. So what G10 or some Micarta or
We've got a bunch of stuff. We've got some really cool rich light that I'm excited about.
Okay.
Some of it's just like single color, and we just left it smooth. There's some other stuff that they make that's layered, just like the layered G10, but it's more subtle. It's like different shades of like brown and that maple color that they have. And we've done a blue one in the maple too. And because of the way when we put them on the machine, our machining and what's flat on our machine doesn't necessarily match up with how those layers were put into the material. So it just kind of naturally ends up being like it gives it kind of like a mottled look. Like it's just it's hard to explain. It almost like the blue and white. It kind of looks like clouds. Like it's not like, and every one of them are a little bit different. No two are exactly the same.
Nice.
So it's hard to explain, but I'll be posting. I've posted some of the blue and white ones before, so I'll be posting some more of the other ones pretty soon. But it's really cool and it gives them a really unique look. So, but yeah, we're doing a lot more of the G10 and all sorts of different colors. We've got some of the rich light that's smooth and some of it that's dimpled. We got smooth micarta and dimpled micarta. We've got some titanium inlays. I know that seems a little crazy, titanium on titanium, but the plan is to do different themed, like laser engraving and stuff on the titanium inlays.
Ooh.
So they can be popped in and out for, I don't know what all we're going to do. Maybe some seasonal type stuff. Halloween's coming up, so we'll probably do something for that. So yeah, I think that'll be pretty cool.
It's always Sasquatch season.
Yeah, there you go. We can always do some Sasquatch inlays.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Or just send you the inlays and let you do them how you want them.
I'm game for that. So I know I've already asked you this, but not in front of everybody here. Sorry to put you on the spot, but we're getting hammered with questions about Tantos. So I figured you'll save me answering for you.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
Yeah. So we will be doing more Tantos. So the Tantos, so what we've done, and there's a lot of you have noticed that we've gone back on the drop points to doing flat ground blades. That was simply I struggled for basically 2 years trying to get the grinds the way I wanted them, doing them on the machine and doing them hollow ground, because it's virtually impossible to do. I know Hinder has managed to get some done, but it's virtually impossible to get any kind of good numbers done of hollow ground blades and having them CNC ground. So we were trying to mill them on the machine, and we did it, and I'd actually gotten it dialed in pretty good, but still it cost me about double in tooling and stuff on the machine what it costs to have them CNC flat ground.
Yeah.
So it basically doubles my cost, not of the entire blade, but of the machining, as far as putting the bevels in it. Plus, it was just I was having a lot of inconsistency. So anyway, I finally got tired of fighting that fight. That was one of the things that was slowing us down, and we just couldn't keep enough good blades. I was constantly having to go in there and touch up grinds and stuff, and that led to, I know you guys have seen some of the stuff where you get one blade, it would have the machining lines in it, and you get the next blade, and you really couldn't even see the machining lines in it. Well, that's because the one that you couldn't see the machining lines in is one that didn't look right off the machine. I had to take it in there and clean it up by hand on the grinder. And I hated that. I hated that they weren't consistent. So to get the consistency and just quit fighting ourselves and killing ourselves trying to do them all on the machine, we switched back to flat ground. So that leads us to the Tantos we've only been doing the drop points so far, and the Tantos we've been doing has still been done on the machine. And we're just happen to be kind of in between batches right now. Part of that goes back to my first little thing I was saying about the double disc. We actually just bought we were going to do the blades on the double disc and just recently decided we would be better off to do those on a surface grinder. So I just bought a surface grinder that we're still waiting on hydraulic fluid for. That's going to do the blades. So it's just, yes, they're coming. We got to get the surface grinder running, surface grind them, put them on the machine, get them done, send them to heat treat, get them back, then we can start building them. So you're looking at a few weeks at least before we can have, even a hint of Tantos.
Well, we just got a whole bunch of drop points. So what you need to retract that statement and say we're looking at a few months.
Yeah.
Any other blade shape ideas for the future?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We already been doing the spear point too. We'll be doing some more of for the moment, I'm probably going to leave the spear points and the Tantos, doing them on the machine, so they'll be in smaller quantities, and then keep doing the drop points flat and having them CNC ground. We may eventually just transfer everything over to the CNC grinding. I'd like to. We need to be able to. The other's great, but you just can't. We can't do the numbers and grow like I want the company to grow. Doing it like that, it's just not efficient. So, as far as any other blade shapes coming up, kind of limited on. I want to do a Warncliffe, but I really can't do it. I don't think in that knife. I've looked at it a little bit. I know Hinder did a really good job of maybe being able to kind of put a Warncliffe blade in his with the angle that he used, but short of essentially copying what he did, I don't know that I can do it. Make it work in that handle. It would hit the standoffs like.
Well, you put a lot of blade in this handle.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's not a lot of wiggle room there.
No.
Maybe by changing where the bottom standoff is or something, but it would by the time we do a Warncliffe, it'll essentially be a whole new knife. So by the time we make any changes to the handle, so that. I do plan on doing a Warncliffe model at some point, or maybe a different model that will accommodate different blade shapes better. But yeah, as you can see, my design theory on that one was cram as much blade in the handle as you possibly could. So
I'd say you nailed it. Absolutely nailed
any
it.
more than that, and you'd be getting cut. So
yeah,
it was close. So I didn't go into that smart enough to be thinking about, hey, I can take these same handles and make multiple different blade shapes for it. Like I said, I literally was just trying to make something that the handles and, the geometry matched up, looked good, had a nice flow to it, and then cram as much of it in there as I possibly could. So next go around, I'll try to be a little smarter and try to plan ahead a little bit more. You live and learn.
I'd say it worked.
Yeah. I really would like to be able to do other stuff in it, and there may be some other slight things that we can come up with, but the drop point, spear point, and the Tanto are probably the main things we'll stick with that particular model. But I am really wanting to drop another model next year, so like a completely different model, not just another variation of the Mac 2. So
if you need any testers or run any ideas by anybody, I'm always happy to look.
Yeah, well, I could definitely use some input for sure. So
I didn't say you should listen to me. Just let me see it.
Yeah.
So going back to Mac 3.5, any chance of it being a flipper?
Yeah. Any thoughts of adding a flipper to the 3.5?
That I have played with. I've never actually done it. I've done some modeling on that in the past, and it's doable. And honestly, all we'd have to do is basically add a flipper tab, because I was telling my wife on the way to dinner, I was like, I really wish that when we first introduced the Mac 2 that I had coined a new phrase, which would be a thumb stud flipper, which is essentially what our knives are, because I basically make them to have the action of a flipper, the way the D10 is on the strong side and you get the pressure built up of the D10. I was making a bunch of flippers when I was doing customs when I designed the Mac 2, and I basically kept that same action, that same, D10, like you would put in a flipper and put it in a thumb stud. Basically we just have to figure out how to put a flipper tab on there and make it look right. That's another one of those things I'm kind of picky about, though. Like, I'm not going to do a flipper tab on it. The flipper tab's like a third of the way back of the knife, down the spine of the handle to get it to, it all has to line up and look right, or I'll be back to that puking emoji from earlier.
I see what you say. I see what you mean.
Yeah. I might have to if I go to a internal stop pin on it, instead of the stop paying like it's got now, it'll be easy.
Damn, MD
But-
Daily.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, okay.
just
I'm
out
not reading the comments.
of do not.
I tried to tell you.
Well,
Oh,
what?
I see that one.
That one just popped up, and I'm like, I mean, I saw it from all, and then I'm like, did he say that?
I'm not sure which one he means it, so I mean, it kind of seemed like toys for men to me. Anyway.
So, oh yeah, good question. I just saw that pop up. Any DLC possible?
Yeah, possibly. I've never had anything done DLC, but so I don't, I can get a source. Like I know I've been told who to use or whatever. We've just never actually done it. So I'd actually like to do it. So, and that's another one of those things that will make it a lot easier now that we've got the finishes dialed in better on the blades and not kind of all over the place on the thing because I want the finishes right before we send them to DLC.
Well, if you-
DLC. So.
If you start doing DLC, can we go ahead and call dibs on our standard exclusive, which is the Stonewash blade with DLC handles?
Yep, absolutely.
All right, y'all heard it here. That's a contract.
Right
Don't have a problem with that.
But no, before you joined us, I spent 15 or 20 minutes talking about you guys, and I got you here live, so I just want to say it. And I was saying this earlier, how much we really appreciate your mantra of build it here, make it here, and keep it here.
Yep.
I was talking about the reel that you put out showing the shop and showing all the employees working and talking about how you're all buying gas here, you're all using your trucks here, you're paying somebody to mow the grass here. And I mean, we're USA Made Blade and we're supposed to be beating that drum, but you guys beat it a hell of a lot harder than we do. And we just really, really appreciate how hard you go through a lot of trouble to painstakingly source everything as much as possible here. And I just really, really appreciate, and especially starting out as a new company, doing it from the get-go is a hard thing to do.
It's definitely not the easy route.
No, you definitely
we
chose
appreciate
the
you guys too,
path
but
less
that's,
taken.
I mean, you're the only dealer we have that strictly is, building U.S. stuff. So it's, so obviously it's not practical for us to only, I wish we could. I wish that every dealer we had was that way. And if more people would stand their ground, then it could be that way. But not enough people are willing to stand their ground, from the customers up to through the dealers and the makers themselves. Like,
Teach them all a lesson. Ditch all those other dealers. We'll just be your exclusive dealer.
yeah,
Tell them you'll come back as soon as they quit carrying the Chinese crap.
yeah. It's telling you, man. I get a little carried away, I think, sometimes, and sometimes I definitely step on some of my friends' toes, I think. But like, I've had other people, other dealers tell me, and they're like, well, yeah, so and so wants to get one done, but they just can't get, they have to get it done over there because they can't get anybody to do it here. And I'm like, bullshit. Like, what do you think we're doing? Like, what do you think Rick Hinder is doing? What do you think? Like,
Yeah,
you can. Here's the problem. You can't do it today. You can't do it with almost no work and no experience, but it's doable.
You
Like,
can't-
you're willing to put in the time to learn what you're doing, learn how to do it, build up the infrastructure and all that. The problem is, it's not that they can't do it. It's that they can't do it right now and do it as easy as they want to do it.
and they can't do it cheap.
Right. They can't make as much profit as fast and as easy as they want to.
Yep.
That's the problem. It's not that you can't do it, because if you can't do it, we wouldn't be in business.
Yeah. But I think people are amazed. I mean, we had there was a little conversation going on our insiders group today talking about price points. I think people would be amazed to know how tight those margins are at your price point.
Oh, yeah. They don't. They have no idea what it costs. I was even talking about. So, full disclosure, when I said we went to eat, we actually took our crew out tonight to eat. To celebrate, we finally got around to taking them out to eat to celebrate our award that we won at Blade Show. And we were talking on the way there, and I was like, because I told you we've really we're putting out a lot more knives this past 3 to 4 weeks than we were prior to that. And I told her, I said, I know those guys are like doing the numbers in their head. They're like, they know what we sell them for or whatever. And they know how many we're making. And they're, I know they're thinking, oh, it's raise time or whatever. Which actually, nearly all of them have gotten a raise in the past 3 weeks. So, where was I going with that? Oh, But like, and she was like, yeah, and they have no idea what it costs, you know, on the other end to make those. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
it's unbelievable when you start adding it all up. People and all this overhead that, like the guys that are having stuff made in China, like they've got the overhead of paying for the knife, paying Riate or whoever to make the knife, maybe some advertising costs and then shipping costs, and they can do it out of their bedroom, they can do it out of their kitchen, their
Yep.
garage, whatever. Like they're not paying an extra electric bill. They're not paying payments on machines. Like our electric bill for the shop is probably, you know, we probably pay double what most people are paying for their houses just for the shop.
Yeah.
You know, we've got a whole separate set of utilities. We've got, you know, everything, garbage, like the whole works. And like I showed earlier, people cutting the grass, like people have no idea what it actually costs, and then they act like it's overpriced. Well,
Yeah.
you know,
For the time
and then
being,
we're putting back into the
as well.
economy, like I said earlier. We're turning around, putting money back into the economy with what we spend, what our employees spend, and all that, and which actually stays in the U.S. economy. And like they're going and buying stuff at the local stores or whatever. Well, guess what? Some of those products that they're buying at those local stores were probably made in your community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's it, and then it just a cycle. You know,
It does.
there's no way around the fact that if you keep all of the money in the U.S., then it helps more U.S. people than if you take some of the money and, you know, you spend 3/4 of it or a half of it goes to China, and the rest of it you're spending here, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it's math. Like, if it all stays here, it's better. Period. So,
Preach it. Preach it.
but
I'll
then
listen
they're
to
like,
it all day long.
I've actually had people argue like, oh, well, I have, you know, employees too. It's people that are 100% China made stuff. You know, I got employees too, and I've got this and that. Well, yeah, sure, that's great. You're contributing some back in the economy, but it's not as much as it could be.
Yeah.
It's not as much as we are because you're, you know, and plus, like I said, you have no infrastructure. You have no,
Yeah.
you're getting to do it out of your bedroom or your living room or whatever. And anyway,
No.
I go all night about that.
I understand, but we appreciate it. We really do. Everything that you do and how much you've sacrificed to do it, and just keep making a hell of a knife, and we'll keep promoting the hell out of them.
Sounds like a good plan to me. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
All right.
it. Talk soon.
Yep. Have a great rest of the week or
All right.
weekend.
You too. All right, man.
Later.
Bye.
I don't know how to get you off of this. So to everybody on YouTube, 18 of you. I hope y'all could hear that. Sorry, that wasn't planned, but that was really cool. So that was Jonathan McNeese with McNeese Knives, and that was not planned at all. So really cool of him to just, you know, out of the blue join us. So Nick, I'm not having you on next. But anyway, I had a few other things to talk about, but now I got sidetracked because I don't know what they were. But
Doesn't matter.
but anyway, very cool of him to join us. I hopefully a lot of people watch this tomorrow and next few days. But anyway, that's all we got for tonight. That was a hell of a way to have a live show. We need to do a lot more of that with a lot of other people. Maybe we can get some others on here. So I need to start planning that. But very cool of him to join us.
Come on.
And if you've never bought a McNeese or never looked at them, and
Recommend checking it out.
you like really well done knives that have incredible action and magnet cut and top end and 100% made in the USA, definitely check these out. We've got a great selection still, so it's rare you get the opportunity to pick one up this easily. So, but that's all we've got for this week. We'll be back next Thursday.
That's fucking funny.
World of EDC, yeah, you won a prize for that. You know what? I will carve another turkey with a ZT0022 copper sometime soon just for you. That was a good comment. But anyway, I appreciate everybody joining us. We'll be back next Thursday. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. We never know. They usually suck. This was a good one. Anyway, appreciate all of you. Go over to USA Made Blade. Get yourself something.
McNeese knife.
And we'll see you next Thursday. Later, guys and girls.